Alright, hey guys, we're back for another unboxing video here. We're doing kind of a couple series here of things because I'm essentially, I got some things from Woodland Hills Camera and Telescope that we're using. So basically, we just did a unboxing of a StarSense, which we're going to put on our 8-inch. We're going to play with that a little bit, and I'll be doing another video showing that. But right now we're looking at this QHY5L. This is AutoGuide camera. So as we're kind of looking at asteroids, we're basically been taking 60-second images. And what I've discovered is when we had the 8-inch with the Hyperstar, I could go 60 seconds unguided, and my stars would stay pinpointed. As soon as I put the 11-inch on the on that CGX mount, it was definitely more weight. And 60 seconds, I start to see a little bit of my stars getting elongated. So I mean, we're gonna try to work a little bit on our polar alignment some more. But essentially, I was talking to Daniel at telescopes.net about it, and he just recommended me trying this QHY5 camera, which is really kind of a neat little camera that they have out here. So this camera is from QHY. It looks like it's 1.2 megapixel, 3.75 micrometers is the pixel size on this thing. So it's got a decent little pixel size, which means you really could, I mean, you can take pictures with this camera. There's no question. So it's pretty popular, it looks like. QHY makes really great stuff here. So again, telescopes.net, you can see they have it as well. So we're going to be basically unboxing this, and I'm going to install it on our 11-inch that we have, and we'll be trying that out in the weeks to come. So okay, well, I'm going to switch over here real quick to the actual product itself, and we'll go from there. So here's the unit itself sitting on our bench. So we also have the mini guide scope that's with it. This is specific for the, see if I can get it on there, specific for the QHY5 series. This is a scope. You can see it does not come with a mounting bracket, so I have a mounting bracket here from Prima Luce Lab that we're going to basically use to install this, and then the camera will install into that. So this will be the guide scope that uses for the camera. So that's the bracket itself. This is a DX finder base for refractors, is what it says here, but this is the actual bracket from Prima Luce Lab that we'll be using. So here's the camera itself. Comes in a little tin. So here's the camera itself, unit. Looks like it's got USB and the data connection on the back there. And that's the camera, and that will slide right into the finder scope. And you know, like I said, you can take pictures with it and stuff, and as well as the guiding. But probably what I'll do is instead of plugging this directly into the mount, I'm going to plug this into the computer. I know it's recommended. I've seen a few videos out there. I know Dylan O'Donnell did a video as well, just talking about plugging in the guide camera directly into the computer, because the computer is going to be controlling the mount. I'm utilizing Stellarium to control the mount, but we'll also use that PhD guiding software we'll be using for the guiding. So here's probably the locking ring that this thing goes on.
Camera shakes a little bit when you move that tin thing.
Does it? Okay, I'll watch out for that. I got my son running the stream here in the background, so looks like it comes with all the necessary cabling. You got your data cable. Here's a USB that's sitting in there. This looks like some kind of a little adapter. And another ring as well. The locking ring. I'm not sure how that's going to go in there. Looks like a spacer of some sort. This is probably the screw that goes into this locking ring right here. You can see there's a little bit of little screw hole there, so this is probably going to go in there. It's what locks it in as well. So we'll be messing with that. just to see. Let me put this stuff back here. But it comes with all the cables you need. So no need to buy any additional cabling, which is kind of nice. Need to worry about that. So let me just drop this back in here. So that's the camera. Looks like there's the drivers. You can download the drivers at QHYCCD.com. Make sure you guys have the latest and greatest drivers on this stuff, man. If there's anything that gets people into trouble real quick, it's drivers issues. And as we know, especially in Windows devices, drivers are everything, right? So half the time problems that we have are driver issues, things that have updated and those kind of things. We don't even know about it, updated drivers and that kind of thing. Here's the actual guide scope that the camera will sit in. So let's see this, hold this out here and just see. Grab a little water here. Sorry guys, I'm fighting allergies right now, it's crazy. So my throat's a little dry. We've had crazy weather in Southern California. I'm hoping to get some, I think we're gonna actually set up tonight. We've got a few asteroids we're trying to go after for the Minor Planet Center. Trying to collect some data on, so I'm hoping tonight we can do it. I can't even get this open. All right. So here's the guide scope. And again, this is talking about all the driver stuff as well. So if you're connecting cameras and stuff, make sure you have the right drivers. So there's the guide scope itself.
That was weird. I just switched to the asteroid hunter Discord. It just made that sound.
Oh, did it? And then probably what'll happen is that little ring that was on this thing. Let me see this. That slides on there or not? Mess with see how that's going to fit in there, but this thing threads right on there like this. So there it is. So you got the camera sitting on the guide scope, and that's going to sit in this ring that sits on top. So that's essentially a little telescope right there that we're using. Little says f4.3 on there. This is a 130 millimeter f4.3 mini guide scope, specific for this actual camera itself. So it just basically screws right on there in that unit. And this probably, sure how this is going to go. Make sure this is all clear out here. So then that sits like this, and then this screws right on there, and you basically have your guide scope. This QHY. Really slick little system that you guys can get here. It's not too terribly expensive. This is a monochrome camera. They do make it in color, but monochrome is what I'm going to be using for just guiding. And again, I'm just looking for simple guiding. I'm not doing really long exposures. We're only doing 60-second for us, but we're definitely kind of at the max with the mount. I had a conversation a little bit with Brian Cogdale even the other day as well, just talking to him about the mount, because he used to be with Celestron, has a lot of knowledge on that stuff, and he was feeling like I was kind of on the edge of non-guiding, but the mount has worked extremely well up until this point without any guiding. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this stuff over to the 11. And we're gonna essentially just kind of put this thing onto the telescope, and you guys can just see it sitting on there. We're done. Let me give you enough foam in these things, man. It's like, let's have foam on everything, shall we? Put that like that. I'll just carry this over. So So let me carry this stuff over. I'll come back and get that bracket. Hang on a second, guys. You want to switch it over, Brennan? Go ahead. All right. Let me see here. So just getting this bracket for you guys. So here's the bracket that we're going to be putting onto the unit. And it's pretty small, so it's definitely not wide enough to fit across multiple screws, but I'll just hold it on there. This thing's pretty light, so I'm going to just basically replace one screw for now. I'll probably just do this one right here as well, so we'll look at that. I say once I get this thing up and going for you guys, I'll do another video on kind of how it's working, and so you can see it in action as well. So we're just kind of doing a quick little unboxing and just showing you guys how it sits on there. So let me just put this bracket on here. And again, you don't want to over crank this stuff, man. These screws especially, they're not made to torque down by any stretch. So you just get stuff nice and snug. These things don't weigh very much, guys, so you don't have to crank them down on your optical tube, okay? Take care of your optical tube, and it will take care of you. So real important. So this thing so if I unscrew these brackets, real nice, man. I love these products. Filippo, you make great products out there at Prima Luce Labs. I love this stuff here. So and then this thing will just essentially slide in like that. So, and we've got a little red on there, man. When you see red on your tube, man, you know that's Prima Luce Lab, man. Like that's good stuff on there. So I like their products a lot. They're built really well. We also got an eagle, guys. We're going to be messing with that too. We're going to be putting an eagle system on this telescope as well, and I'll be playing around with that, seeing how that goes. But this is essentially our 11-inch that we put a hyperstar on, and we collect data for the Minor Planet Center and chase asteroids with this telescope right here, and we love it, man. It's awesome. So here's the guide scope, and I put the bracket on there and just basically slide this thing in like we did earlier. If I can get it on there, let me do this. Gotta make sure that these screws are completely backed out. If they're not backed out all the way, it won't slide in. Now, this is a focuser that's on this thing. Let me show you guys this. There's an actual focuser on this guide scope. So, and then once you get it focused, you turn this screw and you lock it down and it won't move. Okay, so it's focused, the focus is right there. You can focus it and then you lock it down and you're good to go. So that's kind of a neat little deal. So when you put this thing on here, you want to make sure that this you have room to be able to turn this and tighten it down to get the focus. And again, you don't have to crank this stuff down. Just kind of snug it on there. And if I loosen this, now I can turn the focus on this thing. So it's ready to start focusing. And then you just lock it down and it's good to go. Okay, so that's going to be the guide scope. Look at how small this thing is, man. I love this. This is so slick, guys, because it just doesn't take up much space. I mean, look at the finders always is bigger. Also, I tell people all the time, I try to leave a finder on my scopes all the time, you know. Let me just, you know, I try to, I should get there. I try to put leave a finder on because sometimes, man, your go-to stuff may fail once in a while, and you're out there in the dark and you got to try to track down or realign. You might have to do a realignment. You got to know where your stars are. It's always good to have either a Telrad or a red dot finder or something or your finder scope on there. I mean, that's really important. So I always keep finder scope on there at all times. So, but you see the size difference on this, man. Look at the finder scope compared to the guide scope that we have on here. Pretty cool. So that's it on the 11, and then I'm going to basically, you know, when you want to install the camera, you just come up here and just screw that right on, and there it is. So you have the camera sitting there. So there is a locking ring. This, I'm not sure. I'll have to do some research because there's also this ring that's on this thing, and I don't know what the rings is for. So I'll have to do some research. There was also a little spacer in there, into there, but it could be set there for various finders, for various brackets that you have. I mean, this is kind of specific for this guide scope, but I know you can probably thread this on all kinds of different guide scopes as well. You know, smaller refractors, any of those kinds of things. So that's probably what the additional brackets and locking rings and things are for. So, but this one just fits right on here, man, for this other unit because it's just made for it. So that's it, man. And then it's this thing's just ready to go. You just basically plug in our cabling right here, and we're guiding. And you can just kind of see the size of that thing again. Let me just, oops. You guys just see basically versus the guide scope versus that, or the finder scope versus the guide scope, the size. This is much bigger, but what a cool little unit, and just no weight that you add to these things. So for just tracking, auto guiding, all those kinds of things, you can't beat it, man. I mean, this is really slick. I'm loving this already, man. This is so neat. Such a neat little deal. And then, you know, when you're done, you can just basically slide this thing right on off. And that's the unit right there. So QHY, the 5L monochrome. They also make it in color as well. So, but we're gonna get this thing, you know, hopefully this week. I mean, we've just had some crazy weather, man. It's been crazy. We've literally had clouds for the last over a week and a half. It rained yesterday, which is crazy. I've got a little bit of an opening tonight, but I have to take it to. I'm gonna go after some asteroids with it that I've been desperate to gather some data on. So I've got about a 4-hour opening tonight that I'm gonna just grab on that. So I'm hoping maybe later this week, but we can actually do some testing on these things. So you'll be able to utilize. We're gonna do PhD, Push Here Dummy, that software, and we'll be utilizing that as well with our CGX mount that we have from Celestron. So, all right, well, I appreciate it, guys. Hey, questions, comments, anything, feel free to join the Discord. We'll have the Discord link there for asteroid hunters, and love for you guys to join us. If like what you see, subscribe to our channel, please. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got lots of videos, things that we show. We get special guests that come out and join us. We also go through equipment stuff, and then we show you guys how we're looking at asteroids as well, and measuring asteroids and doing those kinds of things, my son and I. So we love it. You guys can see me there, right? I'm in the camera. So, all right. So check it out, telescopes.net, the QHYCCD camera. It's pretty cool, guys. So we'll be doing some testing on it. We're also going to test that star sense that we got, see how that goes. So I just want to show you guys kind of the installation on this. This is the first time I've ever used it, first time I've ever seen it. So we're learning this stuff as we go along too. I got a Celestron motorized focuser we've been messing with. I'll kind of do something on that at one point with you guys. There's some quirks about it that I think are a little weird, but other than that, it's a pretty good focuser. Okay, that's it. So again, any questions, comments, please join the Discord, and you guys can leave your questions and comments in there. And I put articles about asteroid stuff, any of the streams that we have going on, and then also I also put sales that Woodland Hills Camera and Telescope are running on there. Our great sponsor. We're really blessed to have a great sponsor helping us out. My son and I, to be able to go after this stuff. So it's a lot of fun. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll catch up with you again. Take care.